Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rod Coombs, and as Deputy Vice-Chancellor, it's a great pleasure to welcome you all to the University of Manchester and to the City, and of course in particular to welcome the graduands to the University for this graduation ceremony. And I'm pleased to say we've organised some very characteristic Manchester weather for you outside, and we hope to maintain that throughout the week. A special welcome now to the family and friends of today's graduands. I know that many of you have travelled long distances to be here today. We welcome you to the university and we thank you. We thank you for the help, the support and the encouragement that we know have given to our graduands during their studies. We're very aware that you've provided all kinds of support, advice and of course financial support to the graduands. And so today we are, in a sense, celebrating your contribution as well as their achievements. Let me now speak to the graduands. Students have been graduating in this Whitworth Hall for over 100 years now. So when you graduate today, you will be following in the footsteps of thousands of former graduates who have gone on to achieve and to contribute in every walk of life. Former students from Manchester University have reached the highest levels in science, in the arts, in business and in politics. Now, of course, things have changed quite a lot during that 100 years that students have been walking up these steps. When my generation first went to university in the late 1960s, fewer than 10% of 18-year-olds in this country went to university. Now the figure is, of course, more than 40%. When I came to Manchester University as a postgraduate in the early 1970s, the university was less than half the size that it is now, and over 70% of the students were men, and only 30% were women. I'm pleased to say we've put that right. This expansion in university education and the rebalancing is, in my view, a good thing. It reflects the needs of today's society in which knowledge, and not just knowledge, but the capacity to keep acquiring knowledge, to keep learning, if you like, learning how to learn, those are the essential attributes which enable us to earn a living and to realize our potential. The world we live in now has changed a great deal. Knowledge and the application of knowledge has expanded both in its scope and in the pace at which it changes. Markets and organizational structures are frequently broken up and reshaped. So the global economy exhibits the phenomenon which the Austrian economist Joseph Schumpeter called gales of creative destruction. And in this type of world, we're all much more dependent than ever before on knowledgeable professionals to provide us with the vital goods and services we consume every day. The world simply would not work without a supply of people trained to graduate level. So we hope and we're confident that the knowledge and skills that you have developed during your time in Manchester will help you to navigate in and to succeed in that turbulent and complex environment. Some of you graduating here today have gone beyond the undergraduate degree and have carried out research, sometimes over many years, to gain a master's degree or a doctoral degree. This has taken you even closer to the leading edge of change. All of you have taken on the challenge of mastering and using complex ideas which have been built up painstakingly by researchers who have gone before you. You should feel very proud of that achievement, and you should relish taking it further. We in turn feel very proud of you, and we know that you will use your knowledge and your skills to do good work in whatever field you enter. But I'm also sure that all of the graduates here will have learned some other things beyond simply the complexities of their chosen subject. Now, universities exist both to create and to transmit knowledge, and in order to do that, they've developed some very specialized structures and values. And most important of those is the tradition that universities are places of debate and freedom of opinion. And those values of debate and openness to ideas are ones which I hope you have seen as essential to your academic work, But what I'm suggesting to you is that those values of openness and freedom of opinion have a very much wider benefit in the way we interact with each other and live our lives outside our professional spheres as well as inside our professional lives. For each generation, life gets more complex. Historians may disagree with that, and I hesitate to make this conjecture in a room with possibly 200 historians in it as a mere economist. But I do think that for each generation, life does get more complex. And you increasingly need not just mental, but cultural flexibility to cope with that complexity and that change. Now that you're graduating from the University of Manchester, your hard work is being rewarded, and you and your families and friends should feel justly proud of your accomplishment. And through your work and your participation, each and every one of you has contributed back to the university, and we thank you for that. Now, as I said at the beginning of my remarks, your families and friends have played a vital role in supporting you emotionally, financially, and in other ways during your studies. And very shortly we will spend probably 40 minutes or so clapping non-stop while each of you comes up these steps to receive your degrees. So before we do that, I think we should give our recognition to the family and friends. So graduates, please stand. And now give a round of applause to your family and friends. Come up here as well. Thank you. You can sit down again now. So you will now carry the name of the University of Manchester forward with you on your CVs as you move into the next phase of your careers. That university name is becoming ever more renowned. It is in fact now a brand which is also part of your brand, your reputation as you go out into the world. In doing that, you are joining nearly 300,000 other alumni of the university who we have on our books, with whom we are in regular contact. And we hope that you will join that group and do the same and keep in contact with us and come back and see us from time to time. So we hope it's not the last time that we see you here. So that's all from me, and I now want to hand over to Professor Jeremy Gregory, head of the School of Arts, Languages and Cultures, who will speak to you about issues more immediately connected to your disciplines and the school, which I'm sure and I hope will be very informative for the visitors as well. So, Professor Gregory. Thank you.
Deputy President and Deputy Vice-Chancellor, colleagues, graduands and your families and friends, as head of the School of Arts, Languages and Cultures, I'm delighted to congratulate those of you graduating today on your stunning success in obtaining your degrees. Colleagues in the school are extremely proud of what you have achieved. They have worked closely with you for 3 years or more. Some of you graduating today have studied with us for your BA, MA, and PhD programs, meaning that you've shown loyalty to us for over 7 years and you become very much part of our academic community. Many of you who are being awarded a PhD today have also been graduate teaching assistants, working alongside us in teaching our undergraduates so that you are our valued colleagues as well as our inspiring students. We hope that you found your time here intellectually and academically stimulating, because whatever else studying for a degree gives you, the experience should have been one where you found yourself both challenged and excited. And I'm extremely grateful to my colleagues for having given you that experience. For many of you, I have no doubt it will have transformed your lives, though you may not know it yet. I'd therefore ask you all to join me in thanking the teaching and support staff for all their efforts and dedication during your time with us. This ceremony in our magnificent Whitworth Hall reminds us of the bold Victorian hopes and aspirations for our university, and it also reminds us that the subjects studied by you for your degrees have a long and distinguished record at this institution. Manchester was one of the first universities in the late 19th century to offer degree programs in history. And while most of you graduating today will have spent much of the last year researching and writing your dissertations, what you may not know is that under that great medieval historian T.F. Tout, Manchester in the 1890s pioneered the concept of an undergraduate dissertation. And this is now, of course, seen as staple for all humanities and social science programs across the world. So it's no exaggeration to say that the understanding of independent research as being one of the hallmarks of a university education in the humanities owes a great deal to Manchester's history department. I'm very pleased to say that today the department continues to flourish, building on that impressive heritage. This year, we welcomed 2 new lecturers in 20th century European and American history, and history continues to be one of the most popular areas for student applications. The Manchester Historian, our own student-led magazine, continues to thrive under the editorship of Charlotte Johnson and Alice Rigby. Our student ambassadors did sterling work, ably led by Tom Waring, who helped with the recruitment of all the school's student ambassadors by running a recruitment and selection process. Georgina Cowell and Sophie Prale helped lead our student mentoring program. And the History Society continues to thrive under President James Eatwell and Vice President Zoe Strzelski. History students have produced some outstanding academic work this year, and we have a long list of worthy prize winners amongst those graduating today. Patrick Doyle, who is receiving his doctorate today, won the university's award for the best publication by a postgraduate student for his article in the Historical Journal, one of the world's leading historical periodicals. I'm also delighted to say that Patrick has secured a permanent academic lectureship at another institution. So congratulations. At undergraduate level, we have a number of prizes. The Roskell Book Prize for the best overall performance in history and a Dean's Award for final year performance goes to Romy St. John. The Thomas Frederick and Mary Tout Prize for overall performance in history honours goes to Amelia Bell. The Thomas Brown Prize for overall performance in history to Christabel Reid. The Thomas Frederick and Mary Tout Prize for overall performance in politics and modern history to Charles Sheriff. The Thomas Brown Prize for overall performance in politics and modern history to Victoria Woods. The prize for overall performance in modern history and economics to Mira de Briva. The prize for overall performance in modern history and economics to Chloe Austin. The Frederick and Mary Tout Prize for overall performance in history and sociology and a Dean's Award for final year performance to Lucas Woodward. The Thomas Brown Prize for overall performance in history and sociology to Laura Yeaman. And the Thomas Frederick and Mary Tout Prize for overall performance in history and languages to Jane Kilpatrick. And we have 2 prizes for outstanding dissertations. The Hilda Lofthouse Book Prize goes to Alexander O'Fee-Worth, and the Warren Kinsey Prize to Joseph Citron. The school's web and social media officer has asked me to remind you that the school is running a graduation selfie competition. So please tweet us your selfie if you want to take part. I should add that selfies should not be taken during the ceremony. After this ceremony, I invite you to join colleagues for a reception in the graduation marquee. I hope you thoroughly enjoy your day. Please keep in touch with us and visit us when you're back in Manchester. We wish you the very best of luck for the future and look forward to hearing how you're doing. Thank you.
Vice-Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate of the University, I present to you, for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Mark Crosier. Patrick Doyle. James Alexander Greenosh. Obi Ojimiwe. And for the degree of Master of Arts, Early Modern History, Catherine Mackie Neville. And in history, Liam Daniel Hart. And in modern European history, Zoe Francis Hester. And for the degree of Masters in History with Honours, Christy Fraser. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts History with Honours, Hannah Adamson. Amelia Jane Bell. Emily Kate Buffy Rawlings. Ewan Bonnar. Saoirse Brewer. Nicholas Andrew Brown. Scott Byrne. George Nicholas Burton. Sophie Carter. Joseph Citron. Susanna Flora Polyakev-Kuhn. Adam Cumber. David Thomas Critchley. Laura Jane Curra. Alexander Das. Daniel Davis. Ella Eady. Tom Alexander Ellison Scott. Alexander Fenton. Isobel Filor. Alex Fitzsimmons. Joshua Flew. Zachary Fuller. Danang Serador Gabriel. Megan Garlick. Lucy Gooder. Victoria Goodwin. Cameron Jack Grant. Dan Gray. Caroline Hailstone. Angus Harrison. Christian Hemmant. Rebecca Hennell Smith. Guy Hyde. Rachel Hodges. Ella Hoppen. Alexandra Humes. Bianca Monica Hunt. Luke James. Charlotte Elizabeth Johnson. Richard Philip Roskilt Kell. Philippa Larosie. Catherine Landa. Alexander Larkinson. Thomas David Lee. Keir Sim Lyon Fraser. Levana Magnus. Sophia Mahmood. Martha Malichevsky. Jessica Charlotte Marsden. Joseph Marshall. Conor McGurran. Siobhan Elizabeth Miller McKenna. Conor McStay. Sarah Elizabeth Moaki. Lucy Newham. Amber Nikolic. Alexander Martin O'Fee Worth. Thomas Oliver. Stella Power. Sophie Prail. Vidor Brashar. Kieran Prenderville. Nicholas James Pringle. Georgina Rose. Jonathan Daniel Roberts. Lewis Ryder. Andrew Smith. Kieran Smith. Priya Sohal. Romy St. John. Casper Thomas Swanston. Jamie Taylor. Mark Jonathan Thursby. Jessica Tyndall. Edward Weeks. Francis West. Scarlett Whittle. Christopher Gerard Montgomery Wicks. Simone Wilkes. And in History and German with honours, Catherine Imogen Almond. Avni Chandumati Kotecha. And in History and Sociology with honours, Corinne Abrahams. Ambreen Ahmed. Olivia Al-Noah. Fiona Day. Alexandra Marie Fowler Hill. Violet Graham. Natalie Grundy. Fiona Jones. Nicholas Miller. Naivasha Oakes. Hayley Roden. Charlotte Faye Sterling. Madeline Todd. Laura Yeaman. And in History and Spanish with honours, Jane Victoria Kilpatrick. And in Modern History with Economics with honours, William Eckrig. Chloe Austin. James Michael Hugh Boyer. William Brooks. Hugh David Carrow. James Chapman. Sophie Louise Crossley. Miror Petrova. Finley David Thomas Donaldson. Rebecca Driver. Robert Eden. Matthew Elgie. Sophie Gold. Luke Griffiths. Joseph Peter Harker. Thomas Michael Hutchinson. Simon Kelly. Alex Poole. Jamie Power. Max Rushton. George Edward Sordi. Rory Shawcross. George Shepherd Cross. Peter Singh. Emma Slater. Barnaby Sykes. Jessica White. And in Politics and Modern History with honours, Paul Adair. Christopher John Allen. Chandami Amin. Elizabeth Ann Winifred Bailey. Alex Bedard. Harry Bevan. Maeve Margaret Truell Bishop. Rachel Burgess. Laura Cartner. Michael Cass. Bianca Castella. Grace Checkland. Michael Adam Conrad. Jack Krutchner. Kate Elizabeth Curtis. Daniel Davenport. Owen Davey. Jasper Dimmock. Bryony Earnshaw. James Eatwell. William Edwards. Candice Edwards. Liam Feely. Lauren Rebecca Fennell. Simon Finkelstein. Christian Gare. Catherine Margaret Glover. Ross Graham. Sean Meredith Griffiths. Sam Oliver Holloway. Roland Hunter. Sam Johnston. Ruby Lake. Gabriela Jane Lee. Henrietta Lee. Eloise Marsh. Matthew McMahon. Madeline Ong. Bryn Alexander Orton. Alana Powell. Jordan Rehill. Alice Rigby. Sabrina Samra. Oliver Scholes. Charles Sheriff. Seamus Neil Eamon Sowell. Freddie Stevenson. Elizabeth Tomlin. Una Mary Turner. Camilla Wallace. Thomas Waring. Joshua Watson. Laura Wilson. Victoria Charlotte Woods.
So on behalf of the university, I once again congratulate all of you who are graduating here today on your excellent achievements. On behalf of the university, we wish you every success in the future, both in your professional lives and in your personal lives. So I now declare this ceremony closed. Would you please stand up? And you can clap if you want.